Hi, if you want to follow my channel, you just simply go to YouTube. You just write down Shaalan Doski. There is some files and then I made it for you in order to follow learning English. Today's lesson will be about simple past. The simple past is used to describe an action which was started and completed in a specific time in the past. A series of completed actions in the past, or could be an action started for duration and stopped in the past, habit that stopped, an action in the past taking place in the middle of another action, or past facts or organizations no longer true. In order to make a sentence in simple past, there are some time phrases. You could say adverb of time. You could use it in order to make it our sentences in the past. Sorry. For example, yesterday, ago, last, in 2016, or any year you could use it. For now, the other day. When we use simple past, we use simple past when we have a completed action took place in a specific time in the past once or for several times. For example, Sarah called her family every Saturday. If we look to the sentences here, we have a subject, then we have a verb, call, then we add ed to it in order to make it in the past. This kind of verb, we call them regular verb. Then we have her family, that's the object. Then we have the adverb of time, every Saturday. Or it could be a completed group of actions taking place one after another in the past. For example, yesterday, that's the time we're using. Yesterday, Sardar ate his dinner, drank a cup of tea, brushed his teeth, and watched TV. If you look to the sentences, a group of action happened. For example, the first one, Sardar ate his dinner. Ate here is a verb in the past. We call this kind of verb a regular verb. Then you have to memorize it. Then we have the second one, same thing we have here. We could say Sardar drank a cup of tea. Because we have the same subject, then we just delete the subject, not to make repeat it again. Drank. Drank here is the past of drink. Then we have here a cup of tea, which is going to be object of the subject. Here we have it. Then the third sentence is brushed his teeth. This is also, we have the same subject. You could say here same subject. Then we say brushed. We have ed, we add it to the verb because this is regular verb. And then the last sentences or last action from the same sentences, we say watched TV. Watch it is also verb. If we look here, this is watch, regular verb. Then we add ed to it in order to make it in the past. Or we could use like this, an action taking place in the middle of another completed action in the past. For example, Sarah called her family every Saturday when she was studying abroad. Here we have two actions. This action is continuing in the past because we have was, which is verb to be. Then we have the verb with ing form. That's ing. Tell us that's continuing but happened in the past. And then we have another action is also happened in the past. But this is completed action. This is a continuing action. Okay, let's continue. An action was interrupting a continuous action in the past. For example, Sam was studying for the final exam when the doorbell rang. Here we have this action Sam was studying. It means an action continued in a specific time in the past. Then the doorbell rang. It means only for one time. This is also past, but this is a regular verb. Let's go to the second sentence. Shan was listening to music when his sister was asleep. This we have two actions. One action is continuing for a period of time. There another action which this, his sister, was interrupted and therefore one time. But this is going to be continue because we have was and then ing form of the verb listen. We have listening, and this is also, we call them auxiliary verb but work as a main verb. Shan, second sentence, Shan slept on his bed while his sister was watching TV. Same thing, we have slept. It's in the past. It's a regular verb. Then the second action was watching. I mean, this is continue. In the past, something action. Sometimes maybe you could have both actions continuing in the past. For example, I was studying for the final exam. I mean, one action is continuing. Another action in the same time also continuing. But maybe one action, the time continuation could be longer than the one than the other. While my brother was playing the video game. I mean, the two action is continuing in the past. Okay, how we make simple past, or how you structure simple past? We have was and were as auxiliary verb. We use it to make it the past, simple past, and then sometimes we substitute it by be, or you could vice versa for both sides. Okay, how are we gonna make simple past? I have a subject, I, he, she, or it. Then I use auxiliary verb was with those subjects. And then I was gonna say, I was a police officer, or he, she was a police officer. And then maybe we have the subject could be more than one person. For example, here we have it when we say they, we, you, and then the second you for one person. Then we have 1 + 1 or any plural subject. When we say 1 + 1, it means plural subject, more than one person or one thing acting as a subject. With those subjects, we use were. Then we say police officer. Here we have to put s if we use any of those, except when you use you as a singular. Here we have to say, for example, for a singular person, when you talk to him or to her, you could say where. Then here we have to change, instead police officer, say a police officer, because we're talking to only one person. Then we're gonna change it to a police officer in order we know that the person we're speaking to one person. We say you were a police officer. Okay, this is one kind. The second kind, we have the main verb. Same thing, all subjects, I, he, she, it, they, we, you, and then plural subject. We say 1 + 1. The verb stays same. There is no change for any of those subjects when you use the verb with them. We have two kinds of verb as we said it. Regular verb, we just add ed to it, then change to the past. Then we have the object. Here is gonna be the object of the preposition, because we have n. And also sometimes you could call it a complement. The second kind, we said same thing. We have subject, all subjects. The verb, it will be no change to the verb. Then we say drunk. Drunk here is the past of drink. Then we say the object, the milk. We could use any of those subjects then with the same verb. Okay, how we structure the past simple? First, using be verbs, which was and were, as a main verb in the sentences. We say, Sam was a student in the college. Here we don't need to add the time frame, or you could say the adverb of time, because we know this has happened in the past. Because we have was, which is the be verbs. In the present, we will have is, or, but in the past, we have was and were. Let's go to the second sentences. They were at the party last night. Here we know it's in the past for two reasons, because here I have were and also I have last night. When I have last night, then I know this one has to be in the past. Then the second thing, we're using an action verb in the past form. For example, worked, saw, broke, studied, played as a main verb in the sentence. With regular verb, we just add ed to the end of the verb, then it changed to the past. For example, we have work, then we add ed, worked. Then we say sentences, Azad worked in for, say Azad worked for the company for 5 years. Then we know it's happened in the past because we have ed here. That's the sentence is going to be happened in the past before now. Shan played the movie 2 days ago. Here we have two sides. We know this has happened in the past. First, we have ago, indication mean before now. Then the second one, we look to the verb. Here we have ed. We know definitely happened in the past. We have a problem sometimes with irregular verb. For example, with irregular verb, we have break, broke. The only solution for those, you have to memorize it, the regular verbs. For example, Sam broke the cup last night. Let's say here we have two indication this has happened in the past. First, the time frame, or the adverb of time, we have last night. Then the second thing, we have here the verb is broke, is in the past, is the past of the break. But maybe we have a problem here sometime. Maybe we have a sentences like this. For example, if we have sentences like this, we say, they cut the tree. If we have looked at the sentences here, we have they is the subject, cut is a regular verb, the past is cut, the present also is cut. Then we have the object, the tree. We don't know it's happened in the past or in the present time. The best way to solve this solution, this problem, or solution for this problem, is to add the adverb of time that we know it's happened in the past. For example, they cut the tree last week. Then we know it's happened in the past because we have the time frame here that tell us this has happened before now, meaning last week. Or another solution, if we have difficulty memorizing verb, regular verb, we just add did. For example, using auxiliary did with the verb root, work, break, as in did work, did break. For example, Serdar did rewind the tape yesterday. Then we know this has definitely happened in the past for two reasons. Then here we have yesterday, and then here we have did. Then we know our sentences is in the past. We use this trick if we have difficulty to know if our verb is regular or irregular. For example, let's say here the second sentence is also. I did see the professor leaving the campus 5 minutes ago. Here I know definitely this has happened in the past because I have two reasons. Here I have did, then the second thing here I have ago. It means my action this action seeing that person, it was 5 minutes ago, it means before now. And then we have the verb see as the root of the verb here, then because I have did here. Past simple structure with be verb having direct object. We have two kinds of object. Could be direct object, could be indirect object. We have past simple was over, then we're going to make a short question, and then we're going to make it negative. For example, how we're going to make it. For some cases we have it here. I was a student last year. Then we know it's happened in the past because here I have was and also I have last year. Then if I make a question, it's easy. We just take the auxiliary verb, then we post it before the subject. Then we know it's going to be like this. Was I a student last year? Then we make it negative. We will make negative after we put not after the auxiliary verb. For example, I was not a student last year. Same thing here. He was an engineer. Then it will be was he an engineer? He was not engineer. Then here, same thing. It was cold yesterday. Then take was put in the front of the subject. We will have short answer question. Was it cold yesterday? Then we say yes, it was, or no, it was not. If we make it negative, the same sentences, we say it was not cold yesterday. Same thing we have it. Sarah was a manager a year ago. It means a year ago she was manager, she is no longer a manager. Here we don't have it in the past, we have year ago. This ago give me indication that's happened in the past. And then the second thing also, because here I have a was, then I know it's happened in the past. Then how to make a question? Again, we take the auxiliary verb, post it or possession it in front of the subject. Then we have like this. Was Sarah a manager a year ago? Then we could answer it yes, she was, or no, she was not. You could say yes, Sarah was, or yes, no, Sarah was not. To make it negative, it's easy, just add not after the auxiliary verb. Let's go to here. Sometimes we have difficulty with those kind. They were good engineers. We know it's happened in the past because I have were. Then same thing to make question, put were before the subject. When you look at this sentence, it's like this. He and she were doctors. Yes, I have he. That's why you call in 1+1 or plural subject. Then you have he, and then she, then it will be were. Because there are two people, one, more than one, then we have a plural. We say were doctors in 2000. Then if we make a short question, then take the auxiliary verb, put on the front of the subject. Then we say were he and she doctors in 2016, 2000. Or sometimes we could say were they instead of all this. We make it short. We say they. Were they doctors in 2000? You could say yes, they are, or no, they are not. To make it negative, we say he and she were not doctors in 2000. Okay, how to make contraction with auxiliary verb? Let's say the sentences I have it. He was an instructor. Then to make it yes or no question, or short answer question, was he an instructor? Will be yes, he was, or no, he was not. How to make contraction when we have negative? With the was only we have one kind. We're going to say he wasn't an instructor. Means only this kind we have could make a contraction with the not. Same thing here. She was my inmate. Was she my inmate? Then you say, she wasn't my inmate. Same thing if you look here. We have two kind. If you remember, we said it. If I talk to only to one person, you could say, you were an officer. Then if make it question, short answer, you say, were you an officer? You could say yes, you were, or no, you were not. Then to make it short, we say, or contraction to the not, we say, you weren't an officer. This is because I'm talking to one person only. Then if I speak to a group of people, say, you were officers. Then because I have to add s here, because I'm talking to a group of people. Then to make it short question form, were you officers? Then we're gonna say, you were not officers. Same thing with he, she. If we have more than one, he and she were classmates. Then we say, were he and she classmates? Yes, he and she were, or no, they were not, or yes, they were. He and she were not classmates. Okay, let's continue. Simple past with prepositional phrases having complement. For example, if you look at these sentences, we say, I was from the hook. I is the subject, was is the auxiliary verb in the past, from is the preposition. Then we have the hook is the noun of the preposition. Sometimes we say object for the preposition from. If you make it short answer question form, was I from the hook? Make it negative, I was not from the hook. Same thing here, he was from Soleimani. Was he from Soleimani? He was not from Soleimani. Then for example here, they were from Canada. Then we make it, were they from Canada? Don't forget the question mark when you possession the auxiliary verb in the front of the subject. Because if I don't have this, it means something is missing. I mean here, yes, I did half of the question, but I forgot to put question mark. Now is my short answer or question is correct, and then it's fully developed. They were not from Canada as a negative. Contraction of the was or were, only we have one kind of contraction. For example here, contraction of the was not or were not. It is allowed to make a contraction of not only, no was or were. Means here I cannot just make like this, take like some W, A, and then just say S, not. Anyway, it means only we have one solution to make contraction only for the not. Then there is no contraction for was or were. As for the present, if you remember, for the present form, sometime when you make a contraction, we could delete, say, For example, his. For example, there. It means we delete A, then we leave only with R. We delete I, we leave with S. Then we delete A, we leave only with But for the past, was or were, there is no any contraction. We have to just write it down as it is. For example, how to make it negative? Subject, auxiliary, not a soldier. If I don't have auxiliary verb, I cannot make it negative. Always I have to have auxiliary in order to make my sentences as a negative. This is very important. For example, let's continue. I was not a soldier. To make it contraction, it's going to say I wasn't a soldier. I mean here, take O, then put comma instead of it. Then we have contraction of the negative here. Or here, they were not immigration officers. Then contraction, they weren't immigration officers. Then we have here how to make it distinguish between when we speak to one person or we speak group of people. For example, our sentences here. You were not a businessman. If we look here, we have a, this is called an article. And also if you look to the man, here man is only for one person. Then we know this you is indication that this you we're talking only to one person. Then we say you were not a businessman. To make a contraction negative, you weren't a businessman. But if we look here, it's the same you, but this is speaking to group of people. For example, you were not business women. If you look here, we have woman is one person, but women is a group. The other reason we don't have article. Usually we don't use article a or an with a plural. Only we use it with a singular noun. Here we have a group of women. Those women are business women. The other reason we say you were not business women. Or make it contraction, you were not, or you weren't business women. Okay, let's continue. How to make short question. Same thing we have here. They were engineers. Were they engineers? They weren't engineers. Then we have here, you were soldiers. Were you soldiers? You weren't soldiers. If you look at the sentences here, Sam and Azad were there. Then we have two people. That's the reason we make this one were. Then we say were Sam and Azad there. Or sometimes you could change it, and instead of Sam and Azad you could say were they there. You could say here exactly, make question, then you say yes they were or no they were not. Or you could say yes Sam and Azad were, or you could say no Sam and Azad were not. Then here contraction. Let's go how to make our sentences when we have regular verb, and then to make it the past, and then how to make it negative. We said it before, we cannot make sentences negative if we don't have auxiliary verb. If we look at the sentences here, I is the subject, played is the verb, which is in the past because I have ed. Then we say football, that's the object. Then I have adverb of time, last night. Then how I'm gonna make this one to be negative, or to make short question, sorry, first. To make short question answer, short question form, then because we said that if I don't have auxiliary verb, I cannot make it question first, then also I cannot make it negative. Then I have to look for something or some auxiliary verb to add it here. If you remember, we said that in the present time we use do and does, but in the past we use did. That's the reason we took here did. We put in front of the subject, then we say, did I play football last year? Then you can say yes I did or no I did not. Then to make it negative, we're gonna say I did not play football last night. Sometimes we could add a did here. For example, if you go to the second sentences, he solved the mystery. If you want to make sometime, if you remember I said, if we don't know this is a regular verb or irregular verb, sometimes we could add did here. He did solve the mystery. Then I know this has definitely happened in the past. Then it will be easy for me to make a short answer question. Then I take this auxiliary verb, then possession in front of the subject as I did here. If you look here, then we put question mark. We say did he solve the mystery? If you look here, this sentence is when I add did to it, then I have to delete ed from the verb. And then to make it negative, we said I cannot make the sentences, for example in this sentences here, negative unless I have auxiliary verb. That's the reason we sometimes add did here, which is gonna be easy for me to make it negative. Then I just write down not after, then take ed sometime. Some of them, if we added the to another, we could delete it. Then we say he did not solve the mystery. If you look at the sentences, the sky rained last night. Here I have the verb with ed, then I know it's happened in the past, and also I have a time frame here. How to make a question? I have to have auxiliary verb. That's the reason we use did for, because I'm looking to how I know which one I'm gonna use. For example, let's say I have a sentences. I don't know if my sentence is in the present or in the past. First, when I look to here, if I have last night, I know but my sentence is in the past. This is one solution. The second thing, I'm gonna look to the verb. If my verb is in the past, especially if it's a regular verb, then I'm gonna have ed to it. If it's irregular, then I have to add did to it. Then we say, did the sky rain last night? If we look here, after we add did to the sentences here, then I have to delete ed. Okay, here we delete ed. Then we just leave the root of the verb. We say, did the sky rain last night? Then to make it negative, the sky did not rain last night. Okay? Let's continue to take some more sentences. For example, if you look here, we worked for Sam. Here, I know it's happened in the past because I have ed here. Okay? Or to be on the safe side, sometimes if we structure a sentences, we don't know is it in the past or not, then we could add it did in the front, then we delete ed. For example, as we did here. Did we work for Sam? Then we say yes we did, or no we did not. The other is if we make it negative, if I have this sentences, for example, if I want to make this sentences negative, let's say if I have it here, if I want to have like this, if I want to make this sentences a negative, first step, how am I going to make it? I have to search, do I have auxiliary verb? No, I don't have it. Okay, let's look for the sentences. What kind of sentences do I have? Is it in the present? No. Is it in the past? Yes. How I know it's in the past? Because I have here ed. When I have ed, then simply I could delete ed, then add it in front of that verb. Then I say, we did work for Sam. Then if we want to make this sentences as a negative, as I said it before, I cannot make it negative unless I have auxiliary verb. Now, do I have auxiliary verb? Yes, I do. Then here, then I'm just added not to it. Then my sentence is working perfectly. We did not work for Sam. If I make a question short answer, then I'm gonna say here, did we not work for Sam? Question mark. Then either I'm gonna say yes we did not, if we really did not work for him. But if we work for him, then we're gonna say no we did. It means yes we did not work for Sam. Sometimes the second one, no we did not, no we did work for Sam. Okay, it depends on the situation. As I said it here, if we really did not work for Sam, now this is correct, because yes we did not work for Sam. But if we work for Sam, then we're gonna say yes we did or no we did not. Okay, Let's look here when we have pronunciation with the ed and the end of the verb when we add ed to it. For example, we have three pronunciation for the ed, this ed when we add to the verb. The first one we pronounce it as t. Then the second one we pronounce this ed as d. Then the third one we pronounce it as ed. For example, if my verb comes after voiceless sound, for example, those we call them consonant, then voiceless. For example, K, P, S, CH, chip, or SH, or F. It pronounces T. For example, if we pronounce this one liked, then we say liked. If you look here, this is ed, we're gonna pronounce that as a T. Clapped. Same thing here. If you remember, we said that if our verb is only one syllable, like this. If one syllable, we have consonant, we have vowel, we have consonant. Then we have to double the last consonant. We're gonna make it clapped. Then we pronounce it as T, clapped. Same thing with dressed. Then here T, watched. Then ed gonna be T, finished. Then we're gonna have ed as a T, laughed, and troubled. Troubled. If the ed here ends after voice final sound of L, V, and B, and all vowel sound is pronounced D. For example, I say ed, we have L, yes we have it, then we have B, then we have Y because this is vowel, then we say traveled, rubbed, played, believed, studied, cleaned. See, this is ed, we're gonna say id with no e. Okay, cleaned. If this ed, if it comes and is after the final sound of T and D, this ed we pronounce it ed. For example, we say a did. Okay, here we pronounce it D. Wanted. Okay, wanted. Ed. Depended, because they have a D. Then dated, and then invited. How to structure our sentences with irregular verb? The easy way to do it, for example, if we don't know our verb is regular or irregular, we said the trick, we use did. But let's say here I have this sentences. If I have a sentence that says, I cut my finger, then I don't know, is it happened last night? Is it happened now? Then the best solution for this to know my sentence in the past, then I have to add adverb of time. Last night, yesterday, 1 week ago, then I know this cut is in the past. Then it's gonna be easy for me to know it. Or let's say I don't have this last night, just like this. If I don't have it, then I say I cut my finger. Then I want to make it happen in the past, just add did here. I did cut my finger. It means I definitely cut it before now. Okay, let's keep it as it is. Let's go how to make this one as a question. Short answer. We said I cannot make this sentence as a question unless I have auxiliary verb. Then easy, as I said it now before, now we just add did here. Then I have the sentences. I did cut my finger last night. Then in order to make short answer question, I just take the auxiliary verb, put in the front of the subject, then I have like this. Did I cut my finger last night? Then we're gonna say yes I did or no I did not. Okay? To make it negative and then contract it, we say I didn't cut my finger last night. If we have a sentences like this, Sarah read a story last night. I know this has happened in the past, for two reasons. One of them, last night, is a time of adverb of time, and then here I have read. Because if it's in the present, let's say I don't have last night here, then I know definitely this is not in the present time. Because if it is in the present time, then I have to add s here. Then because I don't have s, it means definitely is happened in the past. Okay, this is the second solution. Then to make it question, we said we have to have auxiliary verb. Then you could just plus auxiliary verb here. Then we say did. Then it's gonna be easy. Now I could make it question. Then we take this auxiliary verb in front of the subject as it is here. Did Sarah read a story last night? Or to make it negative, we said that we have two kinds. If you want to contract it or not, you say Sarah did not read a story last night. The differences between this sentences, or I have the same sentences with contraction. Let's say I have a sentences like this, then I only make contracted this here, and instead I make it comma. Sarah, the meaning is the same. It means Sarah did not read that story last night. But the motion of the Sarah, maybe this person is putting more sense. Say Sarah did not Sarah did not read a story last night. Here you say Sarah didn't read a story last night. Maybe here the speaker is a little putting more stress, or maybe he's a little angry. Then the other one is a little softer. That's the reason in any exam they say do not write on the exam paper, because putting warning a person, they could say did not write, but this is when you say do not, it means stronger than when you say don't. Okay, let's go to the sentences here, going back. They met Sam at the party. If we don't know if this is irregular verb or irregular, I could add here simply to make it did, then I have in the past. They did. Here I have to change it from the past to make it meet. They did meet Sam at the party. Then as I have it here. And then now it's easy to make this one as a question short answer, as we said it. Take this auxiliary, put in the front of the subject, then put a question mark at the end of the sentences. Then we say, did they meet Sam at the party? They didn't meet Sam at the party. Okay. Let's say I have this. I have a sentences like this. Past simple structure with irregular verb, did, and then had. I have I did my research myself. If I want to make this one as happened in the past, then I have to have the verb action to be in the past. Then I have did here. But if I want to make it like this, I did. Here I have to change the verb to the root of the verb. They say I did do my research myself. Then now if I make a question, it's easy. Short answer. Just take did, put in the front of the subject. It's like here. Did I do my research myself? Yes, I did, or no, I did not. Okay, let's bring this one back again. Let's see here. Shan did the cooking himself. Then we're gonna say here, because if you remember, we said when we have the verb, doesn't matter if it's regular or irregular. If it's regular, then I have to take ed out. If irregular, then I have to change it to the root of the verb, because root of did is do. Then we say Shan did the cooking himself. To make a question, then we say did Shan do the cooking himself? Yes, he did, or no, he did not. Or you could say yes, Shan did, or no, Shan did not. Same thing we have here. All the sentences are the same. Let's see here. If I have had, same thing. I had my lunch a minute ago. Then I know definitely it's happened before now. Because I have here ago, indication for the time in the past. And also here I have had, which is the past of have. Then here I have had. Then if I want to change it, this is to the short answer question. I have to have auxiliary verb. Here, had is not auxiliary verb, it's the main verb. It means for possessive. And before here, I forgot to mention it. Here it means the action that person do, to do. That's the reason we say did. Let's go back here. We have had. We say I had my lunch a minute ago. Then I have had here as any irregular verb. Then we're gonna say, did I had my lunch a minute ago? Yes, I did. No, I did not. Because don't get confused with the had. Never, it's not correct if you say yes, I had, or no, I hadn't. We will have that one for another when we go to present perfect and past perfect. Okay, now let's stick to the simple past. Same thing here. Shan had a car last week. Then we know this has happened in the past because I have last week and also I have had. Okay, then let's say if I make this one short answer question, then I have to add auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb here only I need to add did, because here did my sentences in the past, then I have to use did. And the good thing about it, did it goes with all subjects, doesn't matter if a singular or plural, is the same thing. Okay, that really say, did Shan have a car last week? Yes, he did, or no, he did not. Same thing with Sam and Azad had the dinner. Then we say, did Sam and Azad have the dinner? Yes, they did, or no, they did not. Let's go do quick review. For example, when I have these sentences, they read the story. Then if this is, I want to make a simple past because maybe I get confused at this read. Is it in the past or it's in the present time? Then to easy thing, there are two solutions. Then I could say they read the story last night. Then I know definitely this read is not read, is read, because this is last night. And then the second solution, I could say simply they did read the story last night. Or I could here, if I add did to it, I don't need to add last night because I know it's happened in the past. Okay, let's see if I have sentences like this. For example, they saw the game. Okay, in order to make this one simple past, I could say they did. I have to change it back from the past, because saw is the past of see. Then I have to change it back to the regular root of the verb. The other is I say here, they did see the game. Now it's a perfectly in the past. If I have a verb like this, they worked in the factory. Okay, if I want to make this one happen in the past, I have to solution. Then I have here worked. Then I could say they did work, because when I had add did to it, then I have to delete ed to send the verb again to the root or in the present time. They did work in the factory. Okay, if I want to make it negative, if we have this sentences, for example here, then we said that we cannot make it negative because I don't have auxiliary verb. The easy way, I just add it like as it is here. Then if I want to make it negative, we said that first I have to add auxiliary verb, here did, then I just simply add it not to it. Then I have past sentences in the past with a negative. Thank you very much for listening. Keep in touch. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.